Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Let's preview and give you guys my best bets for the Sunday night football matchup between the Buffalo Bills and the Baltimore Ravens. Probably my favorite game of the Week 4 slate that I'm going to be firmly involved in. Love this game, love this matchup. Great AFC clash between two powers, and with Josh Allen and his MVP kind of candidacy going against Lamar Jackson, this will be probably one for the ages. Hopefully we don't get a dud out there. Sunday night football. Actually kind of like Sunday night football a lot more than Monday night football. If it wasn't for Manning Cast, kind of would probably never watch Monday Night Football outside of a betting interest, okay? But that's kind of what we get into. If you guys are new to the channel, awesome. Welcome. Glad to have you. Make sure you subscribe right down below. Smash that like button, and please join us on all socials. My handle on Twitter is on the bottom left. Hop on over to the Discord. All those are totally free, just a way for me to communicate with you guys in real time. And if you want to get back to the channel, we've been on a pretty good run. Make sure you all check out the channel memberships that are being offered down below in the description. Join us here at TBM, okay? So let's get into it. We are going to look in the outlier for my plays here. Let's go over the game from a betting perspective, kind of give you guys a brief synopsis as Buffalo comes in as a plus 120 money line underdog, getting 2.5 points on the road, okay? So you can take a juiced up 3. That's kind of one that we are going to be kind of doing a little trifecta here because I do like Buffalo here in this game. I will kind of disclose that before we get going, so you will kind of know where I'm at. It's not that I'm against Baltimore. It's just I do like Buffalo, and I think they're going a little bit too undervalued right now in what they're able actually to do with not, having kind of what their weapons have been in the past. I think a lot of people are putting a lot of stock and value into Stephon Diggs leaving, but I can make the argument, what did he actually do last year? Okay, I mean, outside of just being able to make a few plays here or there, how much actually was that contributing to the bottom line and what actually transpired there in Buffalo? That's kind of my story. So right now we see the large percentage of the money on the Buffalo money line. That's where I'm at, 69% towards Buffalo on the money line versus 52% of the bets on Baltimore. So we can take that argument into the spread. Probably more so we do look for the opposite argument where you do take a little bit more value by taking plus money on a money line. That's why we see that with the Bills, and you can see right now the spread, there's a little bit more of the money, 35% conversely to 65% of the money on Baltimore, okay? Over, that's getting bet up as well. 79% of the money is on the over. At prime times, I kind of blindly bet unders. I know we got kind of burnt with the Bengals and the Washington Commanders, but this is one where I do think that we get back right on track, so I am going to lean towards taking the under. Okay, a couple betting trends that I want to kind of bring to your guys' attention. This is something where we're going to look into Outlier for this. If you guys don't use Outlier, you should be. Links down below for that. Make sure you sign up. 7-day free trial if you use my link. But we are going to talk about this game in terms of a betting insight. All right, Bills Ravens. We do have the fact that Baltimore is 6-3 against the spread in their last 9 games as a favorite. So that's a 66% plus cash rate. We do get Buffalo. The under is hit in 5 of their last 6 games against bottom 10 scoring defenses. And yes, let me point that out. Baltimore is a bottom 10 scoring defense, albeit they are number 1 or 2, depending on what you look at in terms of defensive efficiency against the run. All right. Baltimore comes in 11-3 in their last 14 games as a favorite. So there you go. There's all the reasons and narrative to take Baltimore if you do betting trends, but I don't use them as the end-all be-all. I'm going to be taking Buffalo here right on the money line, plus 120. It's too much of a value. Also, I'm going to take Buffalo plus 3, minus 120. And I am going to favor the under as well, and I do play my primetime special. That will be a same-game teaser where we take 6 points here. We take Buffalo up to plus 8.5 points and the under 52.5. That will be my strongest play of the evening, my best bet. Always love the same-game teasers. If you guys aren't on board with that, we've been cashing those on primetime games a lot. Just take the points up as well as taking the under in that. So that's going to be where we're at within that. Let's talk about some of the numbers here. Okay, Lamar, we've talked about him kind of using this metric and using some of the Lamar trends to bet the Ravens. We did that last week against the Cowboys. That was my favorite play of the day. Baltimore came in as a minus 120 money line favorite. That was my largest bet of week 3 that I made in terms of units. And now it's kind of the same narrative, but I'm still going against the grain. As a favorite of less than 3 points, okay, Lamar Jackson, 17-2 against the spread, almost 90% in the regular season. So in close games as a favorite, Lamar has showed out. He's looking pretty good athletically, okay? I'm just going to tell you guys what my eyes are showing. He really is kind of, some years, I've had him in fantasy a lot of years, and some years he just doesn't look like he's healthy or he's still able, I guess you would say. But in this spot, he looks to be all systems go. And I think we do get a lot of the rushing back and forth between Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. And that's kind of what's going to lend me towards my next bet. Okay. Josh Allen, for all intents and purposes, anytime touchdown score. Okay. We're going to bang that. You can shop around, find the best number available. But let's look at the stats with Josh Allen. And you can kind of see right now, if we talk about kind of his health, it's been relatively good. He's been kind of tempered, I guess you would say, within running the football. They've been holding him back a little bit. Week 1 against the Cardinals in that comeback performance, he had 2 touchdowns on the ground, 9 carries for 40 yards. And last week, he had 6 carries for 44 yards against the Jacksonville Jaguars, where he was just on cruise control that whole game, but never getting into the end zone. That was the that was the Cook show. James Cook had an outstanding day. But for me, guys, this is one where we do look for Josh Allen. I see some value. 2 games, no rushing touchdowns. I know he's been getting it done in the air, but I do look for Josh Allen to get into the end zone once they enter the red zone. So I will take Josh Allen. It's going to be more of a bludgeoning back and forth game, more physically demanding. And I think that's where, with his frame, his body style, his type of running, Buffalo's going to look to establish a run in the red zone, and he's just going to take matters in his own hands, especially if the odds makers are right and Baltimore does have a lead. He's going to look to command that offense when he's playing from behind. He tends to run the football a little bit more, so give me Josh Allen anytime touchdown scorer. Okay, another bet that I do like, and we are going to dive into outlier for this, and we're going to look in the prop markets here. We are going to look at Dawson Knox, okay? I'm sorry, not Dawson Knox. That is the old school tight end that doesn't get much love. We're going to go into Dalton Kincaid. This is a bet that I truly love, one of my favorite props of the day. Minus 110 out there. You can find 38.5. That is the best number for your money at minus 110, over 38.5. He's hit this over 50% of the time, but for me, guys, this is what it comes down to. Baltimore has done a horrible job defending the tight ends, and this is where I see a lot of value. He might even get into 60s, into the 70s. If you want to ladder Kincaid, that's probably where I would lean towards. But I look for Kincaid to have a huge evening against the Baltimore Ravens, and this is something where anytime you can get Dalton Kincaid under 40 yards receiving, I think there's value there, and I do like the fact that we look at what Baltimore does. They are really down in terms of defense against guarding the tight end position. And I think this is where Kincaid can exploit them on the back end, and especially with their pressure and what they're having to be done in terms of how Baltimore plays zone. I think Kincaid finds his way into that, those pockets and settles in and gets a lot of grabs. So Dalton Kincaid, I do like it more for receiving, but if you wanted to get into the reception game as well, you could definitely take him over his receptions as another option. Okay, that's kind of my favorite prop bet, one of them of the day. Okay, and then another receiving kind of storyline we're going to get into is James Cook, okay? And I kind of took this off the screen, so give me 1 second. James Cook, we're going to look into him in terms of this bet within receiving as well, okay? So we're going to go into the receiving category. We're going to look into James Cook with his receptions, okay? So this is where I want to show you guys. Right now, you can find minus 120 in terms of over 2.5. This is kind of where we look into outlier and what they have to offer. Look at the trends, guys. In his last 10 games, this has been a 60% cash rate. He has hit it basically out of his last 6 games, 5 out of his last 6, getting 4 receptions, 1 reception against Miami where they didn't really need kind of him to catch any balls, 3 against Arizona, and that's kind of a similar game script where they're going to maybe coming from behind, 4 against KC, 4 against Pittsburgh, and 3 against Miami, albeit those were postseason games. But against Jacksonville, he had 4 grabs out of the backfield. I think that's what we see tonight. So James Cook over 2.5 receptions. That will be another best bet that I have for you guys for Sunday Night Football. So that'll wrap it up. That is my breakdown and analysis. I am on the Bills tonight, probably on a little bit of an island, but seems to be the sharper side in terms of the money line. We'll see what actually happens. The betting trends all back up Lamar Jackson and his success primetime, his success as a short favorite, and now it's going to come down to the Bills going on the road and trying to get this game against Baltimore. But for me, guys, another thing I want to talk about is just the simple storyline right here, that the fact that we look into this game, look at to what Baltimore's done, and I don't think enough attention is being given to them relinquishing leads and what they did against the Cowboys and how the Cowboys were able to fight back. And I know the game was out of reach and it probably was never going to win, but they only won that game by 3 points, and that's something we said about Baltimore's defense. They can be exposed, and I just worry that Baltimore is going to get kind of the best of the Buffalo Bills tonight on the road on a business trip. So give me the Bills in a lot of spots, and like I said, these are my best bets. Most notably, the props I really like outside. The least favorite prop will be the anytime touchdown. Obviously, there's a lot of variance with that because you only get a few touchdowns every game. But within the Kincaid, the Cook receptions, those are great. And then as well as my favorite bet of the day will be taking Buffalo plus 8.5 and the under 52.5 same game teaser. So that'll wrap it up. Appreciate you guys. Thanks for watching. Good luck with your picks, and we'll see you guys all in the next video. Cheers. Subscribe down below.